Time, Billy. We're back in the saddle, guys. And we got a lot to talk about. We've been trying to do a show for, I don't know, the last week and a half. It just seems like we couldn't line it up. And truth be told, part of it is because we didn't know how to handle the situation and what's going on. But while Billy's sharing that, I wanted to let you know he's sharing everything all over Facebook. I can't see any comments. Billy's going to be watching it. But Billy, you sent this to me. I'm gonna be a critic. I don't know if you can see it. It's that why isn't
Oh
it
yeah, yeah,
showing
yeah,
up good?
yeah.
It's
That's
Somaderm,
good stuff, man.
Somatropin, homeopathic transdermal gel. Now I've been on it Sunday, and I'm gonna tell you something right up front. I'm gonna give it an honest review. If anybody wants to know if this stuff works, whatever I tell you at the end is gonna be honest, because I'm gonna be a little bit more critical of it than most. So this is I'll tell you exactly how I feel about it. If I don't think it works, I'm gonna tell you I don't think it works. But I think your boy Troy Dowdy, is that who hooked you up on
Yes,
this?
yes. Troy did.
Great fan, loves the show. And I don't know if Troy's gonna watch this, but I'm giving it a try. And I'm gonna tell you, so far, I told Billy the first night it made me sleep a lot better. I have trouble sleeping. That's the only improvement I've seen since Sunday. I do have a bad back problem, and today it's not as bad. Can I attribute that to this? I don't know, but it's a gel. You just pump it and you rub it on like a sensitive part of your skin, your wrists, under your arms, your belly, anywhere where it's not calloused. But I haven't felt like I want to go dig a ditch yet, Billy, because that's what I've heard people say, man, it gives you all this energy. I haven't gotten there yet. But if I do, I'm going to tell you. But me and Billy's on, in case you wonder, me and Billy's on a weight loss competition. I don't know if I've lost any weight, but I was at 262, I think I said Sunday. Is that what I said? Is that my
hmm
official start weight?
That's the official start.
That's my official start weight, 262. Now, keep in mind, 262 on catfish looks a whole lot bigger than 262 on Billy. Cause Billy's taller than me. I'm only 6 foot. So I got a few chins and I'd like to get rid of them. You know what, Billy? I don't have a weight goal. I don't know about you. I just want to be healthy. I want to be able to go out and play Isaac to 21 instead of 5 and not be out of breath. That's what I want. I want to have my energy back. I want to be able to sleep well. I don't want to have to toss and turn. So we're going to try that out. But there's a lot going on in Vol Nation, a lot going on in our beautiful country, and we're going to talk about it. I've been in knots about talking about some of these subjects because I don't know how to articulate what I want to say without offending somebody. But we're going to try. My students getting back in the truck. We're out here in beautiful Arizona, not far from the petrified forest. This is Steven's first time out here in Arizona. I've been out here 1,000 times. But we're going to Phoenix, then to California. But I've been in knots about how we're going to talk about this subject. But we're going to start out with what's heavy on our hearts as Tennessee fans, and that's Coach Johnny Majors. I'm going to tell my first stories of knowing Johnny Majors, not personally, but as our coach of my team. And then I'm sure Billy had met. Have you met him yet, Billy? Did you ever meet Coach Majors?
Oh man, I most definitely met Coach Major, man. Good
All right.
peoples, man. Good people. What a very, very good coach. I mean, I've had times to sit down and chat with him, and Coach Major, he was just who he was. He was a great coach. He's one of those coaches I tell you everybody needs. He's a player's coach. He was a good guy,
Yeah.
man. And you hear all the stories that everybody's talking about. His former players. Just anybody that came in contact with him, they'll tell you, it's good people.
Yeah. Well, you know what I think of when I think of Coach Majors? I think of a white and orange shirt and orange breeches, like Sansa belts and Nike shoes. That's what I think of when I think of Coach Majors back in the 70s. My first time I've ever seen him was at the Tennessee Notre Dame game in '79. I was about 10 years old. I remember it was my first real remembrance of a game. Now, my dad watched Tennessee football, and I remember it being a part of my culture. But when I first remember the first game where, man, I want this orange team to win, was in 1979, and Coach Majors was their coach. But I've seen Fred post up post about meeting Coach Majors. I've seen Riggs post things. I've seen so many VFLs post things that didn't even play for Coach Majors and had a lot of good things to say and had interaction with him. That says a lot.
Most definitely. I've I've known a lot of guys that's came in contact with Coach Majors, and like you said, I mean, I heard a lot of stories. I even think saw what Stir the Pearl posted something well said the things you say. I mean, there's so many guys that are talking about him, and I can't even imagine what his when the funeral happens, how many people is going to show up, to send him out with a great bang because Coach Majors was a good guy, man. I mean, I was just glad to see him come back and be back involved with the university, even though the things that I heard that happened, how he left the university, or whatever. But it goes to shows, man. He was a volunteer for life, and he came back and he did everything to make sure that this culture is still the same. And his legacy is gonna be will not be forgotten. Because I even heard a story, Bobby, where Coach Major was probably the most talked about player as a volunteer over Peyton. Before Peyton was the most popularly talked about quarterback. Coach Majors was the quarterback talked. I didn't know that, and I was like, wow, really? And then I went and started watching him. I was like, man, Coach Major was a beast.
Yeah. You know what probably says the most about Coach Majors is if my mama was still living, I remember her saying this every time we took the field after they fired Majors and hired Phil Fulmer. They said Tennessee done Johnny wrong. But you know what? A lot of people would have said, if the university is going to do me that way, screw them. But you know how much he was at probably most every game. He was still wearing his orange even after, and I know there's a lot of bad blood between him and Fulmer. I know that. I've heard it. It's well documented. But you know what? He kept wearing his orange, and
Mm-hmm.
he was Tennessee through and through, all the way up till the end, all the way up till the end. And a lot of people would have said, you know what? You stabbed me in the back. You did me wrong. You didn't give me a chance. Screw y'all. But he didn't. He was still at the games. He was up in the skyboxes. He was mingling with players, fans. You could always count on Johnny being. He loved the university, and I think Philip Fulmer loves the university too. I just wished it wouldn't have gone down the way it went down. I wished you can't change the past, but I wish there could have been, and there may have been uh, moment here in the last year or so where Coach Fulmer maybe made amends. I haven't heard of any, but I would love to know that happened. Love to know it because Fulmer is the same way. He bleeds orange and white. He loves this university just as much as Johnny Majors does.
Oh, that's true.
But I know there's a lot of bad blood, and I want this to be a good time, a good show where we're not talking about the negativity. Coach Majors, runner up in the Heisman, coached at Iowa State, won a national championship at Pitt. The next year, Tennessee had to bring him home. And those late 70s, all the way up to the early 90s, was some great Tennessee football. 3 SEC championships, bro. 3 SEC championships. That was back when the SEC championship meant more than it means today. It meant more than the national championship to a lot of people
Mm-hmm.
back then.
All right. That's amazing, man. I mean, that's one thing that I miss about it, man. And when they was when talking about Coach Major, man, it brought back so many like memories of what sports was like. The way he built the culture at the University of Tennessee, and even when he was at Pittsburgh. But he built a culture here that started something that ended. Well, it didn't end. I mean, I'm saying it continued up throughout Coach Former's legacy as well because Coach Former learned a lot from Coach Major. So for him to
Mhm.
win, it wasn't, it was a chip off the old block. So, Coach had a great mentor, I'll say it. Even though people try to bring those two guys against each other, I still think Coach Majors did what he had to do, and at that time, it was just the way it happened. And I hate that it went out that way, but Coach Majors was still a great coach. He did the right thing, and he was a VFL.
I'm going to read y'all something. I was reading his Wikipedia yesterday, and I was reading his coaching tree. Billy, you need to hear these names that's coached underneath Coach Majors, either at Iowa State, Pittsburgh, or Tennessee. I'm going to read this off. This is from Wikipedia. Some names, big names that I didn't even know was coaching underneath Majors. Here's this coaching tree. This just fascinated me. Some of y'all may not know these names. Some of you might. I'm on Kippy Brown. Everybody knows who he was. He was at Tennessee back in the 80s. Dom Capers. Didn't know that. We all know about David Cutcliffe. Daryl Dickey, graduate assistant under him. He's the one that was our quarterback against Miami in the mid-'80s at the Sugar Bowl. Obviously, Philip Fulmer. John Gruden was a graduate assistant under Johnny Majors. Walt Harris, head coach at Pittsburgh, coached underneath Majors when he was there the first time. Jimmy Johnson, yes.
Oh, wow.
That Jimmy Johnson of Miami Hurricanes and the Dallas Cowboys was coaching under him. Let me see where he was when he was underneath him. I think it was Iowa State. Yep. And Iowa State in 68 and 69 when Johnny Majors was the head coach at Iowa State. Jimmy Johnson was an assistant coach for Johnny Majors. Didn't know that, did you?
Whoa, I didn't know any. I mean, that's a lot of coaches. How many is that? Like 30
And I'm
coaches?
not even
Gosh.
done. Hey, I'm not even done.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
not even close to being done. But that one's the one. Jimmy Johnson was probably the biggest shocker. Um, let's see. I'm just trying to pick out some of the big names. Obviously, Randy Sanders was probably a grad assistant. Jackie Sherrill. Bet you didn't know Jackie Sherrill
Wow.
coached under him
I didn't know that. I didn't know
at
that.
Pittsburgh. Kevin Steele. Everybody, he's a big hot name right now underneath Johnny Majors. Here's another one. Some of y'all that might be in their 30s or older will know this name. He's the head coach of the Chicago Bears, Miami Dolphins, and Pittsburgh Steelers. Dave Wannstedt was an assistant under Johnny Majors. We
Wow.
all know about Ron Zook, the Kinko Crook, coached underneath Johnny Majors. That's
Oh,
just
wow.
coaching tree. And I just
Wow.
named off half of them.
Wow. I think I'm trying to remember. I think I remember someone told me that Levy Smith was
Yep, probably. Yep.
oh
I'd
wow. My
probably say he was a, yeah, I just read off half of them. I didn't even go through the whole list.
wow.
But Jimmy Johnson, bro,
I didn't even know that. I promise you. I didn't even know that.
I didn't either until I was reading it yesterday. So he's got his fingerprints on a lot of coaches.
Wow.
Come through
Wow.
Tennessee, big orange fingerprints all over the place. I'm proud. I'm proud, bro.
Man, man. So what's else going on out there, Bobby?
Not much. How about you just check the chat? What's going on YouTube, Facebook? Let's see what's going on. Let's answer some questions. Then we're going to get into the not fun part, but we need to talk about
Let's
part.
see. Let's go and check it. Let's see here. We'll go to YouTube first.
Yeah, read them off. Give a shout out to everybody you see in there.
Let's see here. Let's start from the top here. You got Crimson Brave 2020. He said,
Alabama fan.
"Yeah, I saw that." He said, "All bow down to Bama." Aaron Ross said, "What's up, Billy? What's up, Catfish? What's going on, Aaron?" Got NASCAR Vol over here. He said, "What's up?" Killer Mime said, "Where you catfishing, Billy?"
What's up, Killer Mom? What's up,
Hey,
everybody?
hey, it's the one I've never seen. Crunk Man. He said, "Hello and get
Oh,
crunk."
Alabama fan. Yeah, you need to know Crunk Man. He's a
Who-
good friend
Hey,
down there in Alabama.
I like the name.
Alabama fan. Yep.
I like the name. Let's see here. NASCAR Vols. He said, right weight doesn't determine the health. To an extent, there's NFL linemen who are 270 plus and are healthy and skinny people that are not healthy at all. Hey, that's true. But hey, I tell you this here. They are working every day. They are moving. They're burning calories. It ain't easy
I
when
gotta
you.
get moving.
Whew. And that's what I started back doing, man. Just walking, just doing something, man. I had to. I had to get that weight off, man. I mean, I'm working on it now, man.
Well, see, it's not really fair, but I'm not gonna cry about it not being fair. But I
Oh,
want to know how much weight you've lost in the last week. How much you had of me?
right at about 17.
Wow. I got to get with it, bro. I just say I got to take baby steps. I got to get to feeling better, and then what I want the motivation where I feel like I want to go walking, where I don't feel so tired where I just can't walk. And I think sometimes just getting up off your butt will
That's
give you that motivation.
that's it. You just got to start. You got to start, man. Hey, if you don't put that butt in action, you will not get a reaction.
That's true. That's true. Catfish is gonna lose some weight and he's gonna get healthy.
Shane Bentley, hey, with the super chat, 1999.
What's up, Shane Bentley? Great Georgia fan over there. Man, we need some Tennessee fans over here on YouTube, man. I told you we were overrun with them.
Let's see. He say Billy and Catfish. I'm sure y'all in the same place as I. We need some college football. Hey, you're right, man. With that said, how did UGA get JT Daniels? Man, they're playing their players. He said they're paying their players. Either way, Georgia, Vandy, I mean, UGA, Tennessee.
Hey, let me say something about that, Shane Bentley. Not you. I'm not talking about you. You and Killer Mime and Slim Mosley and all them SEC dog. Oh, y'all great Georgia fan. But there's a few of you guys that get under my skin. Back when JT Daniels was rumored to be, kind of headed to Tennessee, like we were leading the pack. I got screenshots of Georgia fans saying, well, he's a transfer. He wasn't no good. He was overrated. Ain't no good. Ain't no good. And now that y'all got him, he's going to be the next Heisman. I say y'all are hypocrites. That's what I say. And I hope he trips over the steps when he does them stadium runs up and down the stadium steps.
Don't jinx him like that, boy.
I am. Y'all done me wrong. Got to be playing them. Got to be paying them players. Got to be.
Hey, see, Shane, hey, you woke up a monster there. Hey, he's already talking. He's ready for some football. Can't you tell? Hey, we got the general over here. He said, hello, Billy and crew.
What's up, General?
Big Ball Daddy. Is that
BVD?
I was about to say, that is BVD.
That's BVD. What's he saying?
He said, Coach Majors in his tweed sport coat on the sidelines or in his suit and tie is legendary. Hey, legendary. Oh, yeah. Yes, it is. You don't see that anymore. I don't think you'll ever see that again.
Before we go to Facebook, tell us your stories about the time you've actually talked to him. Kind of give us some stories about your personal interaction with Coach Majors. When was it? How were you in school? Was it after school?
I was actually after school. I mean, running to Coach Major was, one at the stadium when he really started coming back, and I was introduced to him by Coach Former and one in the box. Coach Former always tell the story of me running away, going back home all the time when I left a couple of times, and then Coach Majors, he was always had a little jokey. He always said, well, hey, I'd have left too if you was being coached by him. And I never forget him saying that joke, man. It's just funny. It just makes me think of just, it's just that family situation where you can say what you want to and have fun with it at the same time, man. He was always a little jokes to jokes, but he was always serious at the same time.
All right, you just said something that made me think maybe we as fans or some of us fans has it all wrong. If Coach Fulmer introduced you to Coach Majors, then maybe there wasn't as much bad blood as what is rumored.
No, it wasn't like that, man. I mean, it's just
Set it
that's
straight.
that's what I don't like, though, man. I'm always I like to hear from the horse's mouth because there's so much he say, she say, and all that bad this, bad that. I don't want to hear it. Until I hear from the horse's mouth, then I believe it. So I don't care what happened back then. I mean, it is what it is. If it did happen, I didn't get to witness it.
Yeah. Well, let's move on. Go over to Facebook. Who we got over there on Facebook?
Oh, whoa, hey, Facebook over here. Hey, hey, I told you. We got some Facebook fans over here, Bobby.
Yeah, if we're always lit up on Facebook. I hope my phone lasts. My batteries was 40% when we started. It better last.
You fine. If you know that, I'll show out by myself.
Yeah, if I get cut out, show out by yourself. Just don't talk bad about me.
I won't, man. I just said a little bit bad. like he gonna have a little Debbie cake soon as he get off the air.
No, I ain't got no little Debbie's in here.
Oh man, I see we got here with JT Stronghold. That's the first time I've seen that one. What's he said? What's up, VFL fam? Hey, what's going on, JT? And he said, "Did you see that stuff about old Jake Fromm, man? Did I see it, man? That's
What?
oh, you didn't see that? It's some
No. What happened?
man. He's doing that stuff where you're gonna get fired before you go to work on your day off.
Oh no. I'll say I've only been up for maybe 3 hours. Did it happen before that? I hadn't been watching. I was asleep. I drove till 3 or 4 in the morning and I went to bed. What happened?
Well, he said something about guns, and he basically
Uh-oh.
said that they need to make guns so expensive where only rich people can buy 'em.
Okay.
I mean, he's freedom of speech. You say what you want to say, but he was. I can't even really explain how he was trying to say it because I don't know the man, so I'm not gonna put him out there like that. I'll let you read up more about it once you get off the
I'll
air.
read up on it.
Let's see who else we got. We got Brent Black over here. He say, "I'm here. Did you sell your truck, Catfish?"
Not yet. It's still in the shop. I don't know if it's ever going to get fixed. Chillicothe, Ohio.
Okay.
MHC.
Hey, we got Luke Thomas over here, Bob. He said, "Hello, Billy and crew. What's going on, Luke?" Let's see. David Coram. He said, "What is that?" I guess he's talking about the jail.
Oh,
Well, we'll talk about it a bit more.
Somaderm. We'll talk about that
yeah.
more in the future,
Yeah, just go
especially
to
if it works.
just go to Volunteer Roadshow. How I keep forgetting our email, man. Email at Billy Ratliff at
Volunteer.
volunteerroadshow.com, and I can give you a
That's
little
it.
bit more information about it.
Yeah.
Let's see. Hey, Stir the Pearl on here. He said, "My man." now,
What's up, Sterl the Pearl?
now, he didn't say it like that. Now, I can tell you how he said it now.
How
He
do you
said,
say it?
he went like, "My man, what's going on?"
Boy, he can get the crowd hyped up.
Hey man, I'm telling you, hey, Sterl ain't no joke, man. I'm telling you, I've never seen him in a duller moment ever, man. He's always been amped up and ready to do something. I'm like, man, what are you on? So many people used to always think Sterl was like drinking and stuff, like he was drunk or something. But I was like, man, no, he ain't. No, he's not. He's high on water and life, man. He is always like that. His volume is always on 200. He never stopped, man. Let's see. We got Herbert Bradford. He said, "I like Bill Batter as my favorite coach."
Bill Battle. That's who they fired to bring in Johnny Majors.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's true. And see, we got Hunter Hall. He said, "Candace Owens said yesterday that Floyd held a gun to a pregnant woman's stomach during a home invasion. She said he's no, her words, not mine. We all want justice for him regardless of his past. Oh man, okay,
We're gonna talk about that in a minute.
that Candace
Hold that
lady,
thought.
man. Oh gosh.
Hold your thought. Hold your thought.
Oh man.
And we're gonna address all that here in a minute.
Paul, sure. What's going on, Paul? He said Coach Majors talked even to us walk-ons when he would visit. Hey, that's what he did. That's why I said he's players coach. Players coach, man.
Yep.
Let's see here. Who else we got here? Mark Petros. He said Billy Ratliff was and is a beast. Love him. Hey, thank you, man. Thank you so much, man. I tried.
Yeah. He accidentally. Now I'm not gonna do you like Sean J did. It was all on purpose.
Oh man, Patrick Eady. He said Gruden, Capers, and Smith was all on his staff together. Wow.
Wow, I didn't
Wow.
know they were at the same time. Oh wow.
Stir Pearl say, hey, good seeing you, fam. Keep up the great work.
We need to get him on the show.
Oh, we will. We
Stir,
will. Most definitely.
get a hold of Billy. We need to get you on the show.
We most definitely will get him on the show, man.
We need him as a regular.
Yeah. Herbert Bradford. What's up, catfishing Billy?
What's up, Herbert?
Hey,
He's from Michigan. Great Tennessee fan, holding the fort down up there in Michigan.
let's see. JT Strong said, hey, Billy, tell Catfish testosterone shots. See the doctor. You feel like Bill in the wall. Bump it. Hey, once he's on this here for a little bit, he'll tell you about it. All that's gonna
I don't know
change.
anything. I don't know anything about it. All I know is that my partner said this stuff it works, and I bought some.
Hey,
I'm not getting paid a dime
Hey,
for what I tell you about it, but it has helped me sleep so far.
and me, I don't just put anything on my body, man. When Troy told me about it and the stuff, and some of my ex teammates were using it. I'm not gonna say their names because
I know
they
their name, but we ain't gonna say it.
they did well with it. I mean, and then for the price that it costs compared to what the normal stuff is, it's a fraction. So let's see here. Brian Ratliff, what's up, cuz? He said, cuz, what y'all take on what Drew Brees said? Hey, we gonna talk about that too. That's coming up here in just a moment, man. JT said Drew Brees should be ashamed of himself. Some things should just come to light because they're supposed to. He should be fired. Nah, not that far, man.
All right, we're fixing to get into it. I
Man.
mentioned to talk about this,
Uh,
and I'm scared to death to talk about it at the same time.
talk
Anybody
about it,
else
man.
on there before we go on?
We got a couple more people, but we'll get back. We'll get to them. We'll actually
I
go
tell you
with
what,
them.
I've been sick. I've been sick, and I know that we need to talk about it. I've never ever wanted Volunteer Roadshow to be political and religious in any manner. I want it to be an escape from all the bad things going on in this world. And I've tried my best to keep it that way, where people could come and get escape from all the stuff and just enjoy sports, because that's what sports is a uniting thing in that way. But unfortunately, we live in a society where you can't escape it. There's going to be political infighting, there's going to be racial stuff, there's going to be division, and unfortunately, we can't escape it. And I didn't want to talk about all that's going on in the world. The COVID stuff, I stayed away from talking about that as much as I could, other than that we're quarantined and how can we make life better. I have not seen the video of Aubrey yet. I've saw like 2 or 3 seconds of it, but y'all have to forgive me. I'm on this truck 24/7. It's hard for me to do stuff like that, but I've heard about it and I've heard from people I trust. But that I still would like to reserve judgment till I see it myself, even though I trust people. All I know is there's a lot of division in this country, but I have seen Mr. Floyd, the knee in the neck situation, and I got angry. Um, and I was talking to Billy yesterday about this. I said, well, we need to talk about it. And I was going through how we were going to talk about it. And I was saying, all right, how will people take what I'm saying? And I said, you know what? There's going to probably everybody's going to like something that I have to say and hate something that I have to say. And I was like, man, I just I don't like offending people. But in this country, we're offended by your offense. We're offended when somebody else is offended at something that they're not offended by. And I don't know why we live in a country where we can't even be offended. Why do I get to dictate what offends somebody? Why can't someone have an opinion, even though I disagree with it? I don't know, but I'm sad. That's all I can say is I'm sad to see our country and protesters. I'm scared because we drove through St. Louis the other day, downtown. I'm scared what's going to happen to me if they just start surrounding my truck. I've thought about it. You know, all they have to do is yank this red airline off this trailer and I'm dead in the water. I can't move. And getting out, putting it back on, and I'm scared. So all I do know is I support the protesters 100%. I don't even care what you're protesting about. I do wish one thing, Billy. I wish they wouldn't protest on the interstate because I had medical supplies on that needs to get out to Arizona. And if they'd have been blocking that bridge or something, I'm sitting there and they can't get their medical supplies in Arizona. I think there's a lot of people instigating a lot of this bad stuff. And I hate to say it, but I think from what I understand, and I might be wrong, I think it's white anarchists instigating a lot of it, and it makes me angry. Because I think by and large, the African American community doesn't want to see what's going on. That's just my opinion, but I hate to see it. I don't know what to say. I don't know how to articulate how I feel because it's just, I'm in knots. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate division. No matter what it is, I hate it. And I hate confrontation. So that's my 2 cents. And we'll have a dialogue about this, but it's your floor, Billy. Tell me what you think. Oh, the Drew Brees thing. I think that I'm telling me my battery's going dead. I think what he said to that reporter before he apologized is how he really feels. And I think financial pressure and other pressures caused him to apologize. Hey, I don't like that someone apologizes a day or two after, and that's supposed to make things all right. Stick with what you believe and stick with it.
Right.
But anyway, go ahead. That's it.
I mean, there's so much stuff out there, man. As far as the division and stuff, the racism and stuff like that, man. I mean, I've experienced it a whole lot, man, throughout my life. Growing up in Mississippi, I mean, you got to have thick skin growing up, and it sucks. You have to be that way because people are gonna be who they are, regardless who they are. And this is my take on it, man. I mean, like you saying, you're afraid to say what you want to say because you're going to offend somebody, and that's not what you should be doing, man. You should be speaking your mind. Don't worry about what people think about with you. I mean, because if you don't do that, who you really are, then stop hiding in the closet. Stop having skeletons. Don't be that way, man. I mean, be yourself, man. I mean, don't just the one thing I tell people when they like let's say any other race when they talking about how they should think about it and the first thing they try to do is the wrong thing is try to put themselves in someone else's shoes. You can't do that. You can't do that because you don't know how that person thinks. You can't do that because you start off on the wrong track right there. Now, the situation with the protesters and stuff because of the situation that happened with Floyd. I understand what they're going through. I mean, I understand like the police brutality and all that, and I get it. I understand what the Black Lives Matters and stuff. I get all that stuff. The one thing that I've learned growing up is I got to also think for myself, and everybody else need to do that same thing. because once you start worrying about everybody else and what everybody else is saying or how they feel about the situation and you start thinking how they feel, you already messed up right there because now you're lost because you don't know how to even think, how to even walk, how to even react. So until everybody stop pointing fingers at everybody else about the racism stuff, you got to start thinking about yourself first. Fix yourself first. And what I mean by that, treat everybody that you know like you want to be treated. And I promise you, this whole world would be so much better if everybody just did that one single thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's it's,
Mm-hmm.
it's it's not that hard. You know, and you know, as far as racism or and all races and stuff, everybody a little prejudice in some certain way, and you know, everybody's guilty of it. But you gotta start thinking for yourself. I don't care if mom or daddy taught you this back in the day. Once you become a grown person, you need to start thinking for yourself now because you ain't got to worry about. You ain't got to ask mama, can you go to the party and stuff and all that. You ain't got to ask mama, how should I treat this person. Now you got to think for yourself because if you don't realize that, you're gonna be lost and gonna be left out, and you're gonna do something that you shouldn't do, and possibly get hurt for no reason. So if you just do that one little thing, treat people with respect and treat people how you want to be treated, I promise you that will solve a whole lot of problems. Just because somebody tells you that Black Lives Matter is not a good group, how do you know they're not a good group? Have you been part of that group? Have you worked with that
Yeah.
group? All you have heard is he say, she say. And if anybody knows, like I know about he say, she say, oh man, they get a lot of people hurt because by the time he say, she say, get to person number three, and number three get to person number 100, that story don't change 95 times because they ain't said nothing that person number one said to number two. And that's what I don't like about he say, she say stuff. And I'm telling you, with me, if I'm gonna say something to somebody, you're gonna hear it from me. I'm not gonna talk about you behind your back or anything. If you tell me something, I'm not gonna tell nobody else because it ain't their business. And that's the problem with today's society. They don't think for themselves.
You know what I don't like? We got liberal and we got conservative. Those are the two, left, right. And I know people that will not associate with the other party because they think the other party's evil. You know, so what if somebody wants to have liberal mindset? If that's how they want to live, that's how they want to live. So what if somebody wants to live in a conservative society? I think we just come together and accept people have different opinions. And I don't give my political opinions for one reason, because it don't mean anything. It doesn't change a thing in our society because it's not. I don't feel it's important for me to express my political opinions. I just vote privately, and it's always been a private thing to me. And people naturally segregate themselves if they're left to their own devices, either around race, religion, or ideology. They're going to naturally want to live around people like them. Some people put more value on religious and not and just want to live around people that believe it. Some people want to just live in a political segment that's like them. Some people want to live around people that actually look like them. And that's just natural, I think. I don't know if we make this country a successful melting pot, which I have my doubts, because if it is successful, where we're singing kumbaya between all the religions and races and ideologies politically, it'll be the first time in world history that's ever accomplished.
Well, that's another situation that I talk about too, man. Is when people start talking about the left, the right, Republican, Democrat. Once again, until you start making decisions for yourself, no matter what side you're on, it's not gonna work because if you're on one side and you're bashing the other, and you don't really know what that one side is really saying, and you're going off what somebody else said, that side said, now you
Mm-hmm.
divide yourself. And that's the problem. What it is, it's it's divided. It shouldn't even be that way. I mean, it should be like I told you, man. It should be like if the Republican Party win the president, then the Democrat need to be the vice president. I'm just saying, just so they can work something out. So it's 50-50 and they arguing every day until they get it right. Learn how to become a team. You know, that's something that I wish
Hmm.
this whole world can experience. Being part of a team with 120, 200 different people from different backgrounds, whether they Republican, Democrat, however you want to call it, left or right, black, white, green, yellow, and you see how these kids get along, and it's amazing, because I grew up, in a situation where I was all black, but when I came to Tennessee, it was a culture shock for me, because
Hmm.
I had never been around that many different people. I had a few when I came up in high school, but it was a culture shock for me. But I had people to teach me things that I never knew that existed, that people told me myths about. And once I learned all these things and start thinking for myself, Bobby, oh man, life became so much easier for me because I had to grow up early, man. I was age 16 when I got to Tennessee.
Hmm.
So there's so much, man. I mean, this just it's you got to start with yourself first, man. Until you fix yourself, stop pointing fingers at anybody else. I don't
And I
care
know
if it's
when
anybody's opinions. If
you,
anybody opinions offend anybody, anything like that, that's a problem. If you get offended by that, you got to work on some other things because ain't nobody. There's nothing you can say to me to hurt my feelings.
I do know that people that they tend to splinter off and have two groups, and when they have the opposition, they tend to exaggerate the demons of the opposition and make them stuff that ain't even so. I've had people say stuff about me and my religion. They're like, "Man, you say that, but I've never heard of that anytime. Where'd you come up with that?" So
Hmm.
anyway, I would say something as contrived as, man, can't we just love each other? But there's going to be some of us that can love the other party, the other race, and there's going to be some of us that can't for whatever reason. And I don't like it. I mean, I love you, but I don't love everybody. I'm going to be honest with you.
Hey, I can relate. I can relate to that, Bob. I can relate. I like what you said. Like the part about it is just respect. Give everybody respect until they lose that respect. That's the way I've always been. Until you do something to me to make me not like you, I can't say I don't like you. Like for
Mm-hmm.
instance, with all the stuff that's going on right now, I mean, say for instance, with our president, I mean, he says all these things and stuff like that. I may not like what he's saying, but I don't know the man to hate the man. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm never gonna say I can't. I may not like his policies or doing what he's doing, but that's not my. That's not. I can't say I hate this person, and that's one thing I always try to tell people: stop saying you hate someone because they said something that you dislike. Like, what if your whole life was publicized 24/7 for people to like judge what you do on a daily basis? So I don't judge people like that. I mean, I can't do that. I mean, it's not fair to that person, whoever it is. I mean, I'm not saying that I'm gonna go out and just say yes, he's doing the right thing and he's doing. I'm gonna think for myself. I may not like
You
his
got
ways,
to.
but I'm not gonna sit here and say I hate that. No, no, and that's the problem, man. I mean, until people start thinking for themselves, speaking for themselves, it's not gonna work, Bobby.
Nope. Nope. And quit demonizing people's beliefs. I used to be that way on a political level. If you didn't believe like me politically, I thought you were my enemy, you know, but it's
Uh,
not that way.
it's not that way, man. I mean, hey, we're still talking about real human beings. Until you sit there and talk to people and discuss these people and just having conversation or hanging out with people, You learn stuff about different people, whether they're on the left, right, Democrat, Republican. There's so many good people on both sides. You can't just automatically hate somebody just because they're Republican or they're Democrat. And that's what you see in today. And that's what the news, that's all they play on the news 24/7 is the negative stuff about the Democrat and
That's
the
what
Republican.
sells. That's what sells.
Everywhere you
There's
go.
instigators that wants to see us divided. They want to
Um,
see this country burned to the ground. There's a force out there, and I believe that with all my heart, and I don't like it. But I'm down to about 10%. Let's read off some comments, and if I have to go, I love you, and carry on without me.
let's see. We got in there. See. La, da, 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 da. Hey, we got Harry Dennis over here on YouTube. He said, Billy, back in the 90s, I played softball on a team called Trouble Made Up of about 70% black and 30% of us white guys. Man, we had fun playing ball together, man. Hey, I'm telling you, man, hey, team is it makes so much more fun when you got teams out there playing with each other no matter what color. Hey, we getting one job done. We trying to win
Mm-hmm.
and well and kick some ass. But that's what we do as a team. It's
I
fun, man.
guarantee you, Al Wilson, if you ain't doing your job, he don't care if you're black or white. He's grabbing you by the shoulder pad
Hey,
and
hey,
carrying you to the
hey, shoot,
sideline.
hey, I don't care if you the coach.
Nope.
I try to tell you, man. Hey, Billy Cole, he said, hey, Ten Commandments covered that. Hey, most definitely, man. But it offends people. Hey, and Bobby said it, man. So much stuff offends the world today where, that's why I hear this topic all the time where the people today wouldn't have made it back in the day when we was raised. Because there was so much stuff that people, you had to have tough skin. You had to be just had to do stuff right, man. You just, you had to love your neighbor. You had to, I remember, in my neighborhood, my household, if you was next door neighbor, you lived down the street, and you was part of my family, you was one of my friends. If if you got in trouble, you get in trouble at my house. But when you get back to your house, you're gonna get in trouble again. So it was that's what's not happening anymore though. You don't have that just that family situation all over the world, man. You know, and I was telling Bobby about this here that situation where somebody came up and asked me the question of said, why didn't anybody help Mr. Floyd when he was on the ground under that? That's a tough situation, man. I mean, you know, no one is willing to put their lives on the line to help somebody anymore because I mean the police have they're scaring people so much now. They don't de-escalate situations no more. They're escalating situations now. I've been on the streets when like the clubs are closing, and then instead of the officers telling me, "Hey guys, y'all got to clear the sidewalk. It's time to go home." They're streaming at the top of their lung, cursing at you, telling you, if you don't move right now, I'm going to take you to jail. And see, that's not how you do things. I mean, I understand you don't have bad situations before, but every situation ain't the same. So, I mean, calm the situation down. Hey, club over, it's at the time, go home. Now, if I give you a timeline, you ain't going home in the 15, 20 minutes I told you to go. Now we got to get to the point where I've got to raise my voice. Don't start off like that because you're talking to drunk people at sometimes, and when you tell drunk people something like that, and you're escalating it automatic,
Mm-hmm.
you're asking for trouble. You know they're gonna react to that situation. Let's see
I
here.
agree.
Let's see. NASCAR Vol said Black Lives Matter is okay, but some of their policies aren't the best. Hey, there's so many things that's out there, for its policies. I don't care. But there's so many groups that you're gonna like some of them, and you're not gonna like all of them. That's just part of being human. Let's see. Big Ball Dad. He said. Who say? He said. Yeah, he said. Oh, he talking about Billy Cole. He said, "You got it, BVD." He said, "Love you, Billy Cole. Thank you for your service, brother." They're talking to each other right there. Let's see. And BVD, I guess he's thinking. He said, "Man, what did he say? Think he gonna do a show tonight out there, Bobby, to talk about this too." You should
Yeah.
do one, BVD. Hey, do it. Make them aware, man, and talk about it. Everybody needs to talk about it, man. If you don't talk about it, you never know about it. Someone have to make somebody uncomfortable to make them understand what's right from wrong, which we shouldn't even be teaching that anyway. They should automatically know that.
And everybody has a different perspective on the same set of facts.
Mm-hmm. And that's good. I mean, I've always said, you know, you got to have different people in your circle that are willing to tell you you're wrong, you're right, or you don't want to. That's all your friends that's just telling you yes or you're right, yes, 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 yes. Because when that first time they tell you you're wrong, it's gonna be a blow up. You might lose a friend then.
Mm-hmm.
So I want people to disagree with me just so we can eventually one day we might agree.
Yep. It's okay to disagree. What about Facebook? Is it still flying?
Facebook, oh yeah. Hey, David Newcomb, he on. Hey, David, what's going on, man? He said, "What's up, fellas? What's going on, man?" JT Stronghold, he said, "Haters and instigators."
Mm-hmm.
You did say you actually you said something about that, yeah. Hey, that's part of it, man. That's people do that a lot, though, man. To stir the pot, that's just the way the world is now. I mean, it's news only strive off of negativity now. That's the only thing that sells today is negativity. Positive stuff is rare that you hear about. All you hear about is the negative stuff of negative stuff. Like for instance, the Drew Brees situation. He spoke his mind. He said what he had to say. I'm not saying he's wrong. I'm not saying he's right, but he spoke his mind. He did what he had to do. Now he's gonna have some situations with his teammates now because he said something that they probably all thought that they had already covered because they thought he was with them in a situation, and then he changed his mind after he went and talked to some of his family members what they thought it meant. So he changed it. He has his right to change his opinion. But you can't call a man racist because he did that. I mean, that's just and the things that Drew Brees have done for New Orleans, Louisiana, the communities down there, man. You guys got to come on, man. Y'all got to do better than that, man. Y'all got to stop like automatically jumping to conclusions because of what he said, man. I mean, you got the whole city of New Orleans right now hating Drew Brees. They
You
don't
know
know.
what? Before I go, I gotta say this. This is really laying on. I don't want to sound like a preacher, but you know what? My visions for Volunteer Roadshow. I want Democrats, Republicans, Libertarians, Socialists, Bernie Sanders supporters, Joe Biden supporters, black, white, Mexicans, whoever. Hey, if you want to kick the hell out of Alabama, we bros. Okay, we bros. I don't care. I can put my arm around you. We got something in common. If you want Georgia to Tennessee to beat Georgia, we're okay. And you know what? If you're a Georgia fan, it's okay too. I know you're supposed to hate Tennessee, but when it comes down to it, hey, I've got some of my best viewers are Alabama and Georgia fans. Better than some. I've had some of the worst things said about me from my own Vol Nation back when I first started.
Oh, wow. Hey.
We just to be able to unite over sports and sing Rocky Top. I don't care who you are or what you believe. As long as you want to beat Alabama on the third Saturday, October, you went up about 10, 20, 100 notches in my book. That's what I want.
Well, Bob, how much power you got, man? We'll go ahead and get off here, man, and we'll get this show back
Yeah,
up.
I got less than 10%. But do you feel me on that?
Hey, I'm with you there, man. I understand what you're saying. Hey, let's make it a party. That's what makes it better, man. The more, the better. I'm always about that.
Yeah, I just had so much people in my own family that don't talk to each other today because they're a different church, they're a different political view, and I freaking hate it. And I don't want it anywhere near Volunteer Roadshow. I want to be able to rub elbows with everybody.
Uh, Well, let's get out of here, man. I'm actually, I got to go eat something. I'm hungry.
Yeah, I need to eat too, and it's 98 degrees out here. Well, y'all that's been watching me for a while, y'all know what's coming next. Billy knows what's coming next, don't you, Billy?
Yes, sir.
Thanks for tuning in. Go Vols. I tell you what, Johnny Majors was one of the biggest figures in UT history. And rest in peace, Johnny Majors. We all love Johnny Majors, and just rest in peace. That's all I got to say. Thank you for all you did for us. I don't know if you can hear me or not, Coach Majors, but we love you. I promise you that.
Yes, sir.